Hello, dear students. I hope you all will be at home and you will be fine. Today, we have met online after very long time and we will continue to meet online for some time. We will start with subject computer for standard 9 and in that we will start chapter number 1 and that is introduction to computers. But before starting chapter number 1, we will see the subject overview. Over here we will see what are the different topics that you all are going to study in standard 9. For simplicity, I have categorized the whole subject into main three parts: basics of computer, operating system, and third one is internet. In first part, basics of computer, we will have four chapters. Chapter number 1, that is introduction to computers, that we are going to start today onwards. In that we will see what is input, what is output, what is hardware, what is software, what is firmware, all those things. In chapter number 2, history and evolution, in that we will study different generation of computers. In chapter number 3, input and output devices, in this chapter we will study keyboard, mouse, joystick, etc., which are input devices, and also we will study output devices such as monitor, printers, projectors, etc. Chapter number 4, memory, storage devices and data representation. Over here we will study primary memory, that is RAM, ROM, secondary storage memory, that is hard disk, pen drive, memory card, etc. In data representation we will again study the binary number system, decimal number system, how to convert binary number system into decimal number system. So here that's all for the first part, basics of computer. For the second part I have included 8 chapters over here. In that first chapter is introduction to operating system, in which we will understand what is operating system, what are the functions of operating system, and again most interesting, what is Android operating system. In chapter 2, introduction to Ubuntu Linux, here we will study about Unix, birth of Linux, Ubuntu versions, about file system, and about Linux terminal. Chapter number 3, introduction to Ubuntu Linux GUI. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. After studying this chapter, we can come to know about GNOME desktop and its panel. We will also study how to customize the appearance of a desktop. We can get familiar with Ubuntu Linux desktop environment by studying this chapter. Now chapter number 4, basic utilities in Ubuntu Linux. In this chapter we will study how to create directory, that is we are creating folder in our Windows operating system. We will again see copy and paste option. We will see the rhythm box music player, just like a Windows media player. In Windows based operating system we are playing our audio file in Windows media player. Similarly we are playing our video file in Windows media player. Similarly for playing those audio and video file in Ubuntu Linux system, we also require some of the software, and those software, inbuilt software, that is known as basic utilities, that we are going to study in this chapter. Chapter number 5, word processing. It is simple like Microsoft Word that we are using in Windows based system. Chapter number 6, we will see how to edit and format those paragraphs and sentence and all those things. Chapter number 7, that is tables and mail merge. That is again interesting chapter. In tables and mail merge, we will see how to insert a table, how to format a table. And mail merge is again interesting, in that we will study how one can add names and addresses from the database to the letters and the envelopes in order to facilitate or sending mails, or we can say the advertising to the many addresses that we are going to see in this chapter. Chapter number 8, that is similarly like PowerPoint presentation, that how one can make a PPT, that we will see over here. And last portion is internet. In that we will see about internet, how to make email ID and all those things, that we will see in the chapter number 2. What are the precaution one must should take before using internet? What are the viruses? What are the cryptography? All those things we'll study over here. So in summary, I can say that subject computer for standard 9 includes three main parts: basics of computer, operating system, and internet. And total we will have 14 chapters, and that will study one by one. So now we will start with our first chapter, and name of the first chapter is Introduction to Computers. In Introduction to Computers, again there are 6 topics. We will see all the topics one by one. So let us start with the first topic, and name of the first topic is in working of a typical computer. Let us start with the first topic, that is working of typical computer. First do concentrate on figure 1.1, in that you can see users input, process, and then final output. Here user is giving something as an input to the computer for performing specific task. But the problem is computer doesn't understand our language. So the user must have to convert our language into machine readable language. The steps generally written in our simple language, that is known as algorithm. That is known as algorithm. The steps to be written to perform specific task, that is called algorithm. The steps written which converted into the machine readable language and then given to the computer, and that is known as input. That is set of instruction and the data provided by user to computer. Once that program is stored in the computer, it can be used many times with the different sets of data, and that is called a program concept, stored program concept. That is over here. For example, if anyone wants to play audio, two things required. First, that audio is required, and second thing, the software in which you can play that song, that is required. So the store program concept, it is like to installing a VLC media player before playing the audio song. Done. Last thing is output. The computer processes this input and present result to the user. Similarly, if we take again same example, if we have audio and I want to or we want to play that audio, then what we'll do right click and again open with the VLC media player, and you can play this that thing. So this is the working of a typical computer. Again revise, there are four main things: algorithm, input, store program concept, and output. What is algorithm? That is steps written to perform specific task. What is input? Set of instruction and data provided by user to computers. Why we are providing set of instruction? Because computer doesn't know our language, so we have to convert our language into machine readable language, and then computer can takes data and instruction and then do process on this data, and finally it will give output. So that's all for the working of a typical computer. Next, that is based on this, there are the various applications like where you can find the computers are used. For an example, that is ticket reservation, bank operation, inventory management and manufacturing support, entertainment such as playing games, composing music and editing movies, teaching financial accounting, correspondence and publishing, space applications, robotics, email and chatting, website development, etc. All are the application of computer, and one can understand the importance of computer in our life. So here I can say that the first part of the chapter number 1 is completed, that is working of a typical computer. Now moving towards the second part, that is simple model of a computer. This figure shows the basic components of computer. We can see different block like input block, that this is memory block, and this is CPU block, and this is output. We will study all this block one by one. So let us start. In simple model of computer, first block what we are studying is input block. So what we are studying about this block we are going to study. What is input unit? The input mechanism helps in feeding data as well as instruction into the computers, as we already have seen that. What is the working of input? So question arises, sir, as an input devices, what we can use? You can use keyboard, mouse, joysticks, barcode reader, universal serial bus, etc. You can use as an input devices. And what that input devices will do, the most of the input devices will convert the data into the machine readable form. So in this way one can use these devices to give input to our system. So this is all about this input block. Next, that is, we will see this memory block. First thing is primary memory. Primary memory is also known as volatile memory. Again, it is also known as temporary memory, or one can also say is the main memory. Why it is called main memory or volatile memory? Because it keeps remember the content for very short time duration, and that's the reason it is called volatile memory. If we talk about secondary memory, in that it is also called non-volatile memory, or we can say auxiliary memory, which are capable of remembering the content for very long time duration. So if we compare to memory, that is primary memory with secondary memory, then we can say that the secondary storage is non-volatile, less expensive and large in capacity in comparison with the primary memory. For this chapter only remember this thing, because based on this memory we have a whole chapter, that is chapter number 4. In that we will deeply study what is primary memory, what is secondary memory, and all those things. Ah, for the primary memory you can remember that RAM and ROM are the primary memory, and for the secondary memory, hard disk, compact disk are the example of secondary memory. So in simple model of computer up till now what we have seen, the input block and second one is a memory block. Now next, that is in that again simple model of computer, next is what we will study about this third unit, that is central processing unit. In central processing unit you will see two things, ALU and control unit. The full form of ALU is arithmetic logic unit. What it will do, it will do the arithmetic and logical computation. What is arithmetic and logical computation? That is, we know plus, minus, multiplication, division, all are the arithmetic operations. Similarly, for the logical operation like logical or logical and, what are the those are logical computations. What control unit done? Control unit which manages the execution of the instruction and control operation of the other component of the computer. So it is like a manager and manages whole thing. And if we combine ALU and control unit, then what we'll have central processing unit. So it is written ALU and the control unit together form the CPU. So how the CPU, okay, we can see the CPU is a combination of ALU and the control unit. What CPU does, the input provided through the input mechanism is stored in the memory of the computer and further processed by the mechanism. So up till now we have seen these three blocks. What is the working of input? Input providing some input. The first input, whatever the provided, that is stored in the memory, and on that input this CPU will do the further process, and finally we can get the output. Now we will see what is output unit. This is the last block of this simple model of a computer, and that is output. Output unit is a visual screen called the monitor, or in that again we can also say the display screen. The older monitors, if we talk about the older monitors that were black, white and the gray shade monitor, and nowadays we have a color monitor which provides high quality graphics as well as animations. This is the, if you want to see the pictures, then you can use the display screen or the monitor as an output. But if you want sound as an output, you can use the speakers as well as headphones. Similarly, if you want output as a paper, then you can use the printers. So whatever the output you want, accordingly you can use the output devices. So here we can summarize this in the simple model of a computer. We have seen what is input, what is the memory, what is the CPU, and what is the output. Now, so we can say that in chapter 1 we have completed these two topics, that is working of typical computer and second one is simple model of a computer. Let's take a revise. In working of a typical computer, what we have seen, we have seen input and output and process, nothing else. In simple model of a computer we have studied four blocks: input blocks, again memory block, third one is CPU block, and fourth one is output block. Okay, moving towards our third topic, that is characteristics and advantages of computer. This diagram shows the characteristics of computer. What are the characteristics of computer? That is like it is automatic, it is programmable, it is accurate, it is fast, it can remember the stuff for the long time. So all these characteristics we will see one by one. That is, first thing is automation. As it is mentioned, I am automatic, so we are talking about this block. Once the data and the necessary instruction are stored into the computer memory, human intervention is not required and computer can perform a given task. For example, searching from a large repository data. For an example, if you have a one folder, in one folder you have around 500 to 600 files, and you want to search or you want to find one file among all 500 files. So what you will do, you will only write the name of that file that required, and again only press enter. You can find the file that you want from all the file. And what these all things, what the computer will do, computer will do, or computer will search on behalf of you and find the required file. So we can say it is automatic. Second thing is accuracy. Computers are able to perform complex arithmetic and logical computation that we already have seen with the highest accuracy. However, the garbage results are produced by the garbage input entered knowingly or unknowingly, and that is called garbage in, garbage out. That is important, and that can be asked in the exam as well. If the person is giving input wrongly, either knowingly or unknowingly, then it can produce the output in wrong way, and this process is called the garbage in, garbage out. So you must remember this GIGO. Now, third thing is the long term storage. The computers can store the large amount data into the secondary storage. As we know, we will deeply study about the secondary storage about in chapter number 4. For this chapter, just remember that whatever the data we can store, it can store for the long time in secondary storage. Ability to perform mechanical and repetitive tasks. Computers are able to perform mechanical tasks in consistent manner that do not possess human oriented limitations such as loss of interest, likings, and physical capacity. Here we will see that computer keeps working for the more hours or the more days. It does not it does not have the limitations such as the loss of interest and the physical capacity. It will not say yes, I'm tired. Okay. Last one, that is the programmability. The program once written can execute many times, and in this way we can save the lot of time. So these all are where the characteristics of computer. So again revise, that is first thing is automation, second thing is accuracy, third thing is long term storage, fourth one is ability to perform mechanical as well as repetitive tasks, and final, that is programmability. So what we have seen in chapter 1, we have covered these three topics: working of a typical computer, simple model of a computer, and characteristics and advantages of computer. Again, quick revision. In first topics, what we have seen, input output process. In second topics, what we have seen, input block, again memory block, CPU block, and output block. In characteristics, what we have seen, that is again accuracy and automation, and again what we have seen, that long term storage, ability to perform and perform mechanical and repetitive tasks, and programmability. So we have completed our three topics. Now, software, hardware, and firmware. These three topics are very easy as well as small. So we will, in next two slides we will cover all these topics. So starting with the software. Computer need data and step by step machine understandable instruction that we already need. From starting I am telling all of you that as an input what require, that is a set of instruction to perform the specific task, and this set of instruction is called program. First, what we have seen algorithm, that is steps in our local language. These steps are converted into the instruction, and that is collection of instruction is called program. And what is software? That is in simple way we can say this is a collection of all the program is called software. But here we can also see the development of the program becomes easier if the step by step guideline to solve the given task called the algorithm is designed. The logic prepared for getting the given task done using the algorithm is known as software. Ultimately those things are same like From algorithm, one can design program, and by combining all the program, one can design software. In software, you can find over here, that is the component of software, you can find the instruction data as well as the documentation too. So the over here it is written, software refers to the organized collection of computer programs that I have already told you, data and related documentation. Last two topics are hardware and firmware. So the question will arise, sir, what is hardware? Hardware is a physical part of a computer. For an example, keyboard, mouse, central processing unit, and other peripheral devices are considered as a hardware. And last thing is firmware. The software instruction many times come integrated along with the hardware, and it is known as firmware. If we see example, that is washing machine. Program is stored in particular hardware to perform specific task, and that thing is known as firmware. So over here, the software embedded with the hardware usually facilitates use and application of hardware, that is known as firmware. So that was all about all the topic of chapter number 1. So if we look at the quick summary what we have studied till then, these are the 6 topics. First one is working of a typical computer. In that we have seen input, output, store, program concept. Second topic is simple model of a computer. In that we have studied input unit, memory, ALU, control unit, CPU, and output. Third topic was characteristics and advantages of a computer. In that we have studied automation, accuracy, long-term storage, ability to perform mechanical and repetitive tasks, and programmability. And last 3 topics were software, hardware, and firmware. So that is all about chapter number 1. So now we'll see the homework for you. For the homework, you all have to write this question along with their answer in your notebook. You can get answer of all the question in this video. So you can pause the video and write down all the questions with their total 70 questions are there. Okay, so that's all for the chapter number 1. Thank you so much. Stay blessed. Thank you.